Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The sun had barely risen over Port Charles when the world, as Brook, Lynn knew it, came crashing down around her like a house of cards in a hurricane. Nobody saw it coming, not even the people who thought they knew every corner of every secret this town had ever buried. But secrets in Port Charles have a way of clawing their way to the surface, and when this one did, it didn't just surface, it detonated. It started innocently enough, the way the most devastating things always do. Brook Lynn had been riding high for weeks. Her career was back on track, her relationships were thriving, and for the first time in what felt like forever, she had allowed herself to exhale. She had let her guard down. She had trusted. And that, as anyone in Port Charles could have told her, is always the first mistake. She had been walking through the halls of the Quartermain estate, humming to herself, carrying 2 cups of coffee, and wearing the kind of easy smile that only comes when life feels genuinely, almost dangerously good. That was when she overheard it. A conversation she was never meant to hear, words spoken in hushed tones behind a half-closed door, words that stopped her dead in her tracks and made the coffee cup slip from her hands and shatter on the marble floor. Wiley had a secret, and it was bigger than anyone could have ever imagined. The little boy she had helped protect, the child whose well-being had consumed so many sleepless nights and tear-soaked conversations, that child had been keeping something hidden, or rather, something had been kept hidden through him, using his innocence as a shield, turning his sweet face into the perfect cover story for a lie so deep and so calculated that it made the stomach turn just to think about it. The details came pouring out, slowly at first, then all at once. The way a dam doesn't crack gently, it gives way entirely or not at all. Sources close to the family revealed that Wiley had unknowingly been at the center of a long-running deception that stretched back further than anyone had dared to suspect. Documents had surfaced. Dates didn't match. People who were supposed to be in certain places at certain times simply weren't. And when investigators began pulling on the loose threads, the entire tapestry came apart in their hands. Brook Lynn, who had poured so much of herself into believing the best, believing that the people she loved were who they said they were, found herself standing in the ruins of that belief, barefoot on broken glass, with nobody to blame but the version of herself that had chosen hope over suspicion. She didn't cry right away. That's what people who knew her said afterward. She went quiet first, in that terrifying way that only the truly devastated go quiet, like a city after a blackout, all that electricity, suddenly, horribly gone. Then came the questions, then came the rage, then, finally, when there was nothing left to burn, came the tears. She just kept saying she should have known, one source whispered. She kept saying the signs were there and she chose not to see them. That's the part that's really broken her. And broken is not too strong a word. Those who have been around Brook Lynn in the days since the revelation describe someone who is a shadow of herself, quieter, slower, like a song played in the wrong key. The fire that defines her, that sharp-tongued, quick-witted, take-no-prisoners energy that has always made her magnetic, it's dimmed. Not gone, those closest to her are desperate to believe, but dimmed to something barely flickering. The Quartermain family has reportedly closed ranks, as they always do when the walls start shaking. Meetings have been held behind closed doors, lawyers have been placed on standby. The family patriarch would have had something thunderous to say about all of this, and in his absence, that thunder seems to roll through the hallways without anywhere to land. As for Wiley himself, the child at the center of all of this, he remains blissfully unaware of the storm that has erupted in his name. He is, after all, still just a little boy. He did not ask to carry any of this. He did not choose to be the axis around which someone else's carefully constructed lies were made to spin. Whatever anger the adults in this situation deserve, he deserves none of it. and those who love him know that even in the middle of their own heartbreak. But heartbreak has its own timeline, and Brook Lynn's is only just beginning. Port Charles has seen its share of secrets. It has weathered betrayals that would topple lesser towns, survived revelations that rewrote entire histories, endured the kind of dramatic upheaval that most places only experience once in a generation. But something about this one feels different. Something about watching a woman this strong be brought this low by something this unexpected hits differently. The question on everyone's lips now isn't just what happens to the secret that's been exposed. It's what happens to Brook Lynn on the other side of it, and whether the woman who walked into that hallway humming to herself will ever find her way back. Stay tuned. In Port Charles, the story is never really over.